Our subject today for lesson 4, October the 26th. The heart won't what the heart wants. Uh, our lesson passage today will come from Jeremiah the 31st chapter, verses 29 through 34, and John the first chapter, verse 17. Our main thought: I will put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts, and it will be their God, and they shall be my people. Jeremiah 31st chapter, verse 33. We're still with Jeremiah, and this is the promise and renewal. And a lot of this in this book of named after him, Jeremiah, it's not always been coming in order. When he got the visions that came to him different times, and when it came to pass, a lot of them had not come to pass. And you can see different places he's going and almost repeating himself in what he's telling the people. But that's because it wasn't in order. But a lot of things we do is not always in order. Sometimes we do stuff around the house, we go backwards to the other part. Sometimes we start at the front. That's halfway in between it. Then you got to figure out where you got to go. But during all this time, it's renewal. He's telling you about the promise, and he's trying to renew the people back to where they were before, back with Christ. And now, like I said, he was always, people called him not a whiner, but he was a weeping. They said he cried all the time. But everything he had to go through and the people he had to put up with, it'd make you shed tears. And yeah. It's like the parents used to say, it's going to hurt me more than it hurt you. When you're getting that whipping, it don't feel that way. But a parent don't want to see your child hurt, crying, but you got to get them straight. They got to figure out one way or the other which way they're going to go. We did that. A lot of us went, Dad told us to go that way, but sooner or later, something popped into us or popped us upside the head one way or another, and we turned around and thought about what they said. Yeah. And see, it was bad back then with them, because if you're going around the circle and they're holding on to you, every lick, they're telling you something. And the more they whip you, the more they're talking. And if you don't stop hollering, they'll keep right on going. Yeah. I ain't complaining. I was lucky. I didn't get that many. I was the only child, so I couldn't. Y'all that had brothers and sisters, y'all could throw the blame on somebody else. But I couldn't. I was always caught, so I tried to do right. Our first outline, personal accountability before God. Jeremiah the 31st chapter, verses 29 through 30. In those days shall say no more, the fathers have eaten the sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. 30, but everyone shall die for his own iniquities. Every man shall eat the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. And everybody have eaten a sour grape, a sour something. And then they got these little things, sour straws that the children like. But when you eat something sour, it makes your mouth turn all inside out. Yeah. See, it's always been said. It ain't so. But see, that's why they're coming back now, getting all this straight. It says it's going to put it in your heart. Not just going to be words out for you to hear. And that way, if it's on the inside in your heart, you'll accept it better and you can understand a lot better. It's just like when you're looking at somebody steady doing wrong, you're trying to get them to do right. Somebody say it puts a sour taste in your mouth because you're not getting the results that are needed. And it don't have to be the results that you want, but it's got to be the results that God wants. And see, this was back in, because he was still in Antioch during all this time. And, kept telling them, comforted to know that God is just, merciful, and gracious. And he judges not the lives of the past. Because everybody say, whatever happened before, you got to suffer the consequences next generation. And people used to believe that. And sometimes you look at some families, every time you look, they got certain problems, certain trouble.
But but now he put it in the hearts. Moses was supposed to go out and tell all the church, but now he puts it in the hearts of everyone. So there's no excuse not to know God.
True. And see, even when Moses came down from the mountaintop, he had them in the stone. But when he got down, they were already started making idol gods and stuff and doing things. As soon as they come out of Egypt, either they're getting the word to bring to them, they didn't start being corrupt all over again. And like you said about going around a circle when you're getting the whooping back in the day, when they came out, they was in the forest, in the wilderness. For how long? 40 days. Now, a month ain't but 30 days, 31 days. Because you start in the woods by yourself, just a month. Now, 40 days is a long time. I mean, y'all didn't, when you were back in the army, you didn't ever have to go and bivouac that long, did you? 45? But see, everything, they had to carry them big packs and stuff, everything they needed. But they won't light. And you had to walk. But see, when they was out in the wilderness for 40 days, they didn't have none of that. They had to look and find whatever they had to get. All right. Yeah.
If my parents tell me, don't do this, I know it used to tell you, say, that heater is hot. Don't you touch it. You touch that heater, you going to suffer the consequence. And my brother, he's not going to suffer because he didn't touch that heater. That's the same thing they were doing. It was in a circle because God had brought them out of Egypt, right? But they were disobedient when they got out.
Yeah. It's just like today. Go through something, everybody come together, straighten up, they try to fly right. In a little while, they're right back to doing the things they used to do. And if you didn't get an accident on yourself for doing something wrong, your parents got you. So either way, you had to pay double consequences.
In grade school, that was a long time ago.
I want to say that.
If you did something wrong at the school, the principal would get you. Yeah, and your parents would get you too. You get a double dose of it.
See, that's 3 times called. If the classroom, the teacher got you first,
That's right.
then you had to go to the principal's office.
Then you had to go to principal.
And a lot of times, your parents might be sitting out the door waiting on you to come out to school. I tried to stay out of that room. At the old school, if I had to go to that room, I played sick. Daddy had to come get me from school. You know, and that was a tough teacher. And a lot of people that went in there turned out to be pretty good. No. All she had was that little ruler. Come up there, she turned them knuckles up. And now, you can't put your hands on a child in school. But they have. Rosa might know you. They told on a little boy out in the playground, had one. When he got into school, teacher didn't go take it. Walked with him to the office. Going in the hall, the gun fell out of his pants. It could have went off. A little 22. But that same boy had been moved from school to school in Duplin County. Where he's at now, I don't know. But my wife was a volunteer, and I was a volunteer at Missionary when this happened. And I never heard that before. If they had a gun, it's supposed to be taken away from him right then and there. But I guess she was scared that he might shoot him. But this was some years ago. Yeah, when my baby boy Carlos and them was in school. So that's been a good while. Our second outline, carry God's law in your heart. Jeremiah 31st chapter, 31 through 33. 31, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judea. 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand and bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it upon their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And see, even going back to this, he still said they're going to put it in the heart on the inside where it be there permanently. But yet, he's referring to them like back then the old covenant was like a marriage. God was a husband, and the people were the wife. And see, all that, the laws that he made back then, that covenant, they kept breaking it. So just writing it down, just like this book, reading it, didn't do any good. So now he's going to try to put it in.
That was where two parties, God, man, the greater of the two parties, made a covenant with the lesser without any more expectation of the lesser.
Yeah. And this promise was basically not basic on most of the law, but sincerity, as you said, our relationship. And that's mostly why he was looking. And this was between Israel and Judea. It was the first beginning. Man-made laws, they take effect at a set date. This covenant with God make it, it's new. It's no immediate and internal change, but it's something that grows. Any other comments?
You can't survive, right?
Yeah.
You can't survive. So that's where God put this law deep in the heart. He didn't put it on the outside. Because men always look at the outside.
That didn't work. Man didn't obey. They were trying to blame everything on their ancestors.
Yeah, passing the buck.
Mm-hmm.
On man's heart, two things were accomplished. One thing was that man didn't have to bear the burden by himself. When you have Christ in your heart, then he helps you to carry the load.
He's mostly carrying the load. It's just trying to make it so you can see that he's carrying it, and you're not alone. Because all this back then, say when you come up with this, it's going to be an intellect and emotion. You got to use your head, think about what you're doing, but yet if it's in your heart, you can feel it. And you just won't walk over and do anything and everything. Because you used to be a saying like, if you want something on concrete, anything, a deal between somebody, they want to write a contract or write it in stone. Because if you write it in stone, won't nothing happen to it. But just as soon as he came down the mountain, what he wrote in the stone, they had already disobeyed, and the stone broke. He threw them down and broke them. But if it's in your heart, you can't throw that down and break it. He's there with you all the time. And also this heart was a center of thought and feeling, like I just said, but where your treasure, if this is a treasure and you fully love Christ, you go right there to your home, your heart, and put it in, that's where you keep your treasure at. You don't leave nothing out laying around all the time for somebody to come and get. But it's on the inside of you, can't nobody take that away. Any other comments? Our third outline, fulfillment of the new covenant. Jeremiah 31, 34, and John 1st chapter, 17th verse. 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For they shall know him, they shall know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. So then again, he's telling them, he's giving them a promise to tell them what he's going to do. Everything in the past is done with. He's here to start anew, put you on the right path. Yeah.
Covenant before that. Not the first covenant. I'm just saying the covenant before that.
Yeah, because every agreement they ever made, they broke it. Some of us do the same thing right now. The written law. Speed limit 55. 70 on the interstate. Pass somebody going down the interstate, they be running about 80 miles an hour. And most of us will do it. So we breaking the law every day. But it's man law. But then when you go back and you breaking God's law, that's totally different because you know if you get a ticket, most people go to court, ask for a prayer for judgment. They might get away with it. But you keep on going and doing that with Christ, it ain't going to work that way all the time. You know, you got consequences. Whatever you do, you got consequences.
It's just like, say the town. The town need sewage. They need water, but they're not able to pay for it right then. But the state can give them a grant, and when they get that grant, they don't really have to pay it back. Long as they carry out what they are set to do. And this is like God put it on your heart. He put it on your heart. It's set for you to do it.
Yeah, because even like you said, like in some of the cities and towns, you get grants to do certain things. And certain things, the state not going to give you a grant. They give you part of it, but then they got to come up with the rest of it. Just like with the fire department. We get fire trucks and stuff, we get grants and stuff, and some of it comes, but you got to have a matching. Whatever the state going to give you, you got to match it. We get a loan, and you got to pay that loan back. Now, like for the water and sewage, we did from Rosehill down by where the church instead, all through there. But the county got to furnish the water. But the town had that grant to make the sewage because the septic tank was so wet down there all the time. But yet, they can sit there and not pay their water bill. That's what the county. We can't do nothing about it. If they don't pay the sewage bill, we can't go there and disconnect them because there's nowhere for it to run to except in the ground. That's a health hazard. So they really can get free sewage if they want to. But, I mean, when we first did it, we had 2 people down there that weren't going to pay. And one other town could do about it. Yeah, because they couldn't use the septic tank. The septic tank would be so wet, the septic tanks would be full. They couldn't use them. Sometimes the sewage would be coming out the septic tanks all over the yard. Like I said, there was something done to help them. And they wanted it. But then when they get it, see, we won't have to pay something. It's a different story. Verse 17. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. You know, you can't go around any longer and say, blaming our ancestors for their sins, think it's going to fall on us. Because what they did is what they did. What we do is something totally different. We do it from ourselves. They didn't do it. So we're the ones going to have to pay for it.
Summary of this whole lesson, because when this thing was placed on their hearts was when they were in the upper room.
Yeah. Yeah, they was in the upper room, and they got happy out there, and the Holy Ghost came through like a rolling wind, a rush. So, it's just like, anyway, if you get somewhere and it's good and it's right, you'll know it. If it's not, you'll know it. And you can see people that rejoice for doing something that's not right. And you can't tell them that. So, after you talk to them so many times, it's between them and God. Ain't nothing else can be done.
Jesus by night and asked him how he could be saved again, Jesus told him he had to be born again. But Nicodemus took it back and said, how can I be born again? I can't go back to my mother's womb. It's just like Jeremiah is telling these people, you know, you got to put it in, you got to have a new heart and faith in Jesus Christ. Right.
Right. Yeah, because even then, back in the Bible, they were talking about the old people were getting ready to give birth. Kept running his mouth. God sealed his mouth. So he couldn't say nothing until after the baby was born. So, you know, that's not man-made. That's something Christ did. So even him not doing what he's supposed to be doing or what God wanted to do, God fixed him. So that was one of those things that he had a consequence he had to deal with. We haven't really seen somebody that gets affected in that way. But you can look at people when they do something, and you know they're right, not wrong. They're wrong, but they keep on going, and sooner or later something will happen to them. You know, they might have an accident, or it might not be that bad. Yeah, he's got his way of letting everybody know. Yeah. He said, you can get mad, but it's up to you what you do about it. If I can get mad, you can make me mad. I ain't supposed to come in and hit you upside the head. We roll eyes. Next day, no, I ain't. I know how that family is. But there's certain things you have to deal with. You have to go through. Because everybody's not going to treat everybody right. Everybody's not going to have the same opinion or the right idea. That don't mean everybody's wrong. Don't mean everybody's right. Because nobody's going to be right all the time. And you can't be right and not have something. Because you can learn something every day from somebody. And one thing that was coming is a hope of grace and personal accountability. And we must stop blaming others and honestly evaluate how we walk, what we do. Got to quit looking at other people, judging them. We got to look at what we do and how we're going through life. That's the only way we can help somebody else, or mainly help our own selves. That's what God wanted to put it in your heart. Not just words. Because the only thing that really matters is the words that come out of the Bible. Our opinions don't count. Nowhere in this world. It's only God's word that's going to get us through. Any other comments or questions?
I'm reading here, you have to surrender. And for his obedience, if you surrender to it, hey, things gonna work out.
Yeah. Just being obedient. That's all you got to do. Any other comments, questions? Yeah, that sealed the deal there. But people still don't believe it. Still don't want to accept it. They got to go the other way. But sooner or later, something's going to make them open their eyes. But it's already supposed to be in your heart. God done put it in your heart. But you got to feel it and understand it. And, you know, this grace that he put in our hearts, it shapes our hearts and deepens our communion. You know, we should be focused on his love, mercy, and not just rules. A lot of things, tradition and stuff, rules here, rules there. He done told us what we got to do. And we got the instruction in the Bible. And we just have to follow them. But you ain't following if you don't believe them. If you don't believe them, you can't feel it. Any other comments or questions? If not, that's all I got.